Hi, we're Caek and Minko.
And I will be getting sweatier as the episode goes on because I have multiple layers of clothes on and I just ate hot food.
Again, take your gray sweatshirt off.
I don't want to.
Why?
I'm not into it. But we are here today to talk about the new song that just came out. The song is Charlatan.
And this is a pretty emotional performance from you as well.
Yes, I would say so.
Well, how do you feel? How do you feel now that that this song has come out?
I feel better.
Really?
Yeah, I think whenever you have like something very that kind of is eating away at you,
It's like cathartic.
Yeah, I would say it's very cathartic. I would say that it needed to be said and it finally was said aloud. I think voicing your feelings out loud is really powerful. So it felt very healing to get this song, I would say.
Cool.
Yeah, from a very disastrous and ugly situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I penned this song, there was a lot of emotion in me from some things that happened with really close friends of mine. And when I was put in a position where I was not in a good place and really needed their help and their support, they showed me the truth in our relationship. They showed me their true colors, if you will.
Motives.
Yeah, their motives. And basically it was really hurtful and really disruptive in my soul, in my mind, more than I could ever get out in a song. But I really did my best to kind of convey how bad of a situation that was for me, us, our family.
Yeah.
Because there's an interesting thing, right? You can have friends and you can be friends for years and years, maybe a whole lifetime. And maybe they've shown you in the 95% of time that, or maybe even like 99% of time that you've been friends, it's like true blue. But the 1% of time where it really, really fucking matters for somebody to flip the script on you and use, your weakness as an advantage. That's the truth. That 1% is the truth and is the most crucial part of a human's character. That 1% that I got of these people was so ugly and so wrong that, it left me. I'm still having issues with it. Like I still have dreams that I see these people and I'm like, oh my God, I haven't seen you forever. And what's up? And then in the dream, it's like, I remember what happened and I'm like, wow. Like, and I just don't know how to be. And it's kind of like, what's his name song? Gautier, when he's like, now you're just somebody that I used to know.
Yeah.
And dealing with that kind of feeling of we were so close to the point of it was familial, right? And now you are somebody who's like wronged me greater than anybody else in my life.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the birth of Charlatan.
Yeah.
That's pretty much my whole direction with that song. This is a direct line of communication to those people to say, you caught me.
One thing that I had pointed out earlier on social media when I posted about it is like the song is very angry, right?
Yeah.
But it's emotional on the angry side, but really what's under anger is sadness.
Yeah, sadness and hurt.
And loss.
Yeah. Which is like anger in a nutshell, right? Anger is never usually.
Anger is never.
Maybe not never.
Yeah.
Just anger, but a lot of times it's not.
When you first wrote the lyrics to this song, I would cry every single time in the beginning, especially when you said, and you were like a brother to me, because I feel like anybody that's broken up with like a friend that is that close, they're, like you said, they're familial, and the 1%, the thing that they did that cut you or hurt you or betrayed you or whatever, it feels like it just negates all of the good stuff.
Exactly.
So you could be friends for like 10 years and have a great time, and it takes away all of the good stuff. It like paints it in a bad light.
Like right now, we've been together how many years?
10 and a half.
Right. And if I went out and like did something really dumb behind your back and then brought that to you, how, like, it's funny too, because cumulative effect of a relationship over time, and what that builds into, it makes it a higher place to fall from when that 1% does hit, if it does hit.
And I think that's why with this situation, because it affected both of us.
Yeah. Your friends too.
My friends too. It's really hard to reconcile those things because like one particular person I thought was one of my best friends.
Yeah.
Another person, similar. But it's just weird to me. It doesn't make any sense. It makes you think like, what did I do? Like, did I do something? Like, am I,
No.
you know what I mean?
And the answer to that is no. And I mean, we ask ourselves that.
When there's no closure, right? And there's no closure. I would love to like have a conversation in a world, in like a different reality, right?
Right.
Where it's like, well, what happened? I don't understand. And so I think that's the most difficult part. So actually when the song came out, I felt really like sad.
Yeah.
I knew this was going to happen.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, right. Want to take a break?
Stupid.
It's not stupid. You feel what you feel. You'll make me cry though, not. Take whatever time you need. Want to stop?
No. Anyway.
Yeah. I know. It's
just hard to talk about out loud.
It's good. It's good. I actually haven't heard you talk about this. And I mean, I got you through the song, so I don't know.
I feel like I've talked about it a lot, but not like, we're talking to each other more purposefully, I guess, right now. But like I came to you a day last week or something, and I told you that I was like feeling, I don't know, but the song coming out, it had like the opposite effect on me where it just like made me think about it more and, and I already think about it a lot, same thing. I'll have dreams.
I didn't get that cue when you said that it was affecting
I know, because like I'm trying to not be so emotional about it.
Yeah, but no, like, dude, we've been together how long? Like, that's not, that's not a thing.
Anyway.
I love you, Michaela.
I do.
Yeah. And I know that's like, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot. Let me ask you a question because you're feeling like you're feeling right now, right? And you voiced that you didn't get closure, and then these people, clearly have made you feel a certain way as well. So I guess my question to you would be, if you could say something to them, because you have a microphone in front of you right now, and what might you want to say or ask or, convey?
Well, one, I want to really say that, like, I really did, like, value our friendship, all the people involved.
Yeah.
And I really did think that we had a lot of trust and good communication. Like, I feel like it felt like a very honest relationship to me.
But that, like, while this was about me, right, mostly,
your particular thing,
I think I'd like to tell you, like, this isn't, you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
This has to do, while it obviously has to do with you because it affected you, the outcome and everything, like, you didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't,
Yeah. I guess I just wish that things were different.
Yeah.
I don't think it was fair, anything that happened. I think they took advantage and had the wrong motive. Friendship wasn't the top priority.
It's kind of like an unexpected knife.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, right?
I guess I did value our friendship, and I did think that it was special. It was special. And then I would just kind of be like, Why do you feel the way you feel? Why did you do what you did?
Yeah.
Do you wish things were different? Like,
Right.
I would want to ask these questions. Like, do you miss our friendship?
Yeah.
That's all.
I'm not feeling this like you are. I'm just like kind of a lot better at being a stone. I'm sorry. But I'm here with you. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I feel like I made this about me, but it's your song.
Yeah, but no, I think that's like really the thing is that we are not just musicians together, parents together, partners. We're also like have friends together. And so, yeah, I wrote this song, the lyrics to it, but that doesn't mean that it's completely free of your feelings.
And when I was saying like I would cry every time I heard the beginning of the song was because I was actually thinking of your relationships in particular. Like you were like a brother to me. I'm thinking about that history and like how sad that is for you and how you are so, I don't know, I just felt really bad for you in that particular situation because you were so stressed and sad.
Yeah.
And confused in that time.
I had to take a lot of supplements to sleep. There are certain things that in a friendship forge a different level of friendship. Like I always talk about touring, and there are some people that I don't talk to at all anymore. But I had been on tour with them across the USA or across Canada in a minivan with like 5 or 6 of us. And that forges a type of bond that is, you know, like a kid going to camp and then having a camp friend. Like you may never talk to that person again, but that person's role in your life was so important that even if you saw them again, you'd kind of pick up from there because you've experienced something greater than regular life together and major ups and downs, even if it's just major ups.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's very similar to a very low point. The highest highs you can imagine is such an end of the spectrum. With these particular people, we experienced some like crazy highs and literally some of the craziest lows that a human being can have.
Yeah. Especially you. Both of those things. Yeah.
For me, it was really difficult because we had forged our relationship through those lows and through those highs. We have both of them. There's been a million times where I've been sitting around with my phone late at night or something. Maybe you hadn't been around or whatever. And I'm like, I'm just going to text them, you know, and just be like, what the fuck, you know?
I really like the line in the song, so that I had value.
You saw that I had value.
Tried to make it all your own.
Like this was all about you, and even your friendship was out on loan.
So it's just like waiting until the opportunity arises to take advantage.
I mean, do you ever feel like that? I mean, I've had a pretty vibrant life in a lot of ways because I was lucky to experience my worth in this world.
Sure.
You know,
you put yourself out there.
I put myself out there. I've been in stages in front of thousands of people singing my words, and I've been celebrated in a number of ways with people showing up to celebrate the works that I've done. You know, that's not some ego crap. That's not to say like I'm cool or whatever. I think everybody has that. Whether they tap into it's another thing. I was able to tap into mine, so I knew my worth in that world and explored it. And I think when you do that, sometimes there are people who will see you for that, not for you, but for what you bring.
Right.
And also, I feel like that's a means sometimes for people to kind of explore, like vicariously through you, these parts of themselves that they are too afraid to explore or anything like that. Right. So I am accustomed to people kind of getting close to me with ulterior motives.
Right.
Not like I'm some superstar or whatever, but like I said, when you shine your light, I think that people want to be under it sometimes.
Yeah.
And not because they like you as a person. And so that's really difficult to navigate. It doesn't have to be that you're a musician. It could be like, hey, this guy's a really good plumber, so I want to be friends with him so he could fix my toilet if it leaks. You know what I mean? And I think that anybody can feel that. But one thing I will say that I think is really important, and only time made this true, is that I no longer feel like ultimately angry anymore.
Yeah.
That anger has subsided.
Right.
I don't feel that anymore.
Well, your eyes are really pretty.
It's because I'm sick.
That's not
I have
true.
sick eyes.
You have.
They're all droopy and dreamy because I'm actually slightly
Has
dreamy.
nothing to do with that. I hate crying. An ex's dad told me once. I told him, I said, oh, I stop myself from crying all the time. Like if I'm watching a movie, I'm like trying not to cry.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's terrible. You should cry at least once every day. I was like, I don't know if I could do that, but I'm glad you can.
Dude, I have no beef with crying.
Yeah.
You know,
you stopped yourself from crying the other day.
When?
You were sitting over there, and I don't know what I said, but it made you cry. You were really tired.
Was it about our child? Because that makes me cry all the time.
Yeah. I don't know, actually.
I think the last time I cried for sure was like 2 days ago when I wrote the new song I'm writing.
Yeah.
And I like texted you and I'm like, I'm writing this song and I'm crying. And Michaela came home and she was like,
let's talk about it.
Really
Hold on. Let's talk about that because that was going to be my next thing.
Oh, okay.
So let's talk about that experience.
Okay.
So we'll go into a little bit of how our process has evolved over time.
Yeah.
A big part of my job is taking an initial idea, whether it's Mike's idea or my idea. I take an initial idea and building it into a song, right? So making a chorus or making a verse and transitions and blah, 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 right? We quickly realized when we first started writing together that doesn't really work to write melodies together because Mike really likes to write lyrics and melody together by himself. What happens is we get the songs like totally fleshed out with parts. And then Mike stays home by himself and will write to those songs, lyrics and melody. So anyway, that's how we do it. And then if I come in and I don't like it or any part of it, I'll be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like this, but the lyrics are always great. First of all, it's always great. I'm really picky about melodies.
Yeah.
And I'm just really picky about it. So this one particular song that we're working on, which is my favorite out of all of the songs so far.
Of course, that's the reason. It's like elevated, way up here. So you're not you're like ready to take aim at it. As soon as you walk in the door, you were probably like already like, I'm going to be real critical.
I really do think I come in with that level of criticism for every song.
Well, no, I'm glad because that means the last 7 have been okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And this is for the next batch of songs that'll start coming out next year, 26. So it's my favorite song. I come home and I'm like, I don't know. And for the other one, there was like another one that I was like, I'm not sure. And you were like, all right, I'll rewrite it or whatever. You put in some melodies. And this one, you're really upset because you did put a lot of emotional energy into it. Not that you don't.
Also, like I put myself in a zone. Mm-hmm. Like I was like, all right, if I'm going to write this song and it's a song with a particular theme, and I'm going to immerse myself in it. So I'm going to go into a place, and now I'm in the place, and I'm exploring that place with you. Yeah, and it's like a love story, right? And I'm like, okay, all right. And then so like I start like tearing up, like,
Yeah.
And then you're just like,
yeah. And it just, that's really hard.
I definitely have, after like stepping away from it a little bit and going up in my room in the dark for a little while and just breathing.
That's literally what happened. You went up all by yourself. You were like, it was in the dark, and I go up there a little bit later. I think I put Taji to bed or something. You were up there, and I was just like, hello? Are you okay?
Yeah, because I don't typically do that.
No.
But also, I was trying to create like some space for myself to feel my feelings.
It's good. Yeah. And you didn't lash out at me or anything. You were just like, I'm just trying to like kind of calm down or whatever. And then we talked about it a little bit, and then I did another one later, and then you ended up liking that one. And
so I do cry. And but the funny thing is like beyond that, which is, pretty substantial. Yeah. Like, I had an emotional investment. I don't know why sometimes I cry. Like, I remember this one time, it was like 2000 and gosh, like 7 or 8 or something, you know, just a moody dude. And driving down the highway in Rhode Island in my car that was falling apart. So maybe that had something to do with it. And I'm listening to the radio and Son of a Preacher comes on. And I'm like, what? I don't even know. Son of a Preacher. Like, but it was, her vocals were so powerful, like so beautiful that I was just like, oh my God, I'm going to cry, and like driving down the highway, listening to Son of a Preacher, just bawling.
You know, that's really relevant because sometimes I don't know why I cry either. And it's actually like a sonic driven thing.
Yeah, for sure.
So before we started writing these songs together, I was doing the same kind of work for your songs, which were also all very emotional songs for Barrett Ave, right?
Yeah.
They were all very emotional songs, which was originally hard to get into because they were emotional songs about other women. The reason it was hard was because I put myself in those situations to feel how it sounds.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like a certain chord progression sounds like anguish to me.
Yeah.
Or a certain chord will sound like loss to me, or like missing someone. So when I'm watching a movie and the score does something, and it might be coupled with like an emotional scene, but it's really like I was watching something the other day, and it was the score that made me want to cry. I stopped myself from crying.
Well, I think it's like an art form, is coupling like sonics and visuals together in a way that like leverages a really powerful emotion,
so
or
I think,
elicits an emotion.
I think that's pretty amazing that sound can do that.
Yeah. Well, Son of a Preacher made me cry.
I'm going to listen to it and see what it
it's
evokes.
Dope. It's such a good song. Lots of cries, lots of things going on. I'm really happy we got Charlatan out. And now I have a very important question for you. Okay. You have to say 20 words that start with F, and none of them can be swear words, as fast as you can. Ready, go.
Oh, no. Fries. First. Fire. Philanthropy. That's not F.
No.
Crap.
Just F.
Fine. Fin. Fickle. Fondling. Fan. Fudge. Fit. Funny. Fun. Family. Fish. Fig. Finical.
Finical? Finical? Oh my gosh. That's going down in history. Oh my gosh. I'm going to use that every day from now on. I'm feeling finical. Wait, no, keep it going. 16, come on. Lightning rounds. You got to get 4 more.
Fill. Fillings. I can't. Flub.
Okay, yeah, one more.
Flubber.
All right, well, we're going to take flubber. We're going to disregard that it's a fake substance that a scientist made in a Disney movie, but that was painful. You have you totally, as you're doing it, I'm totally feeling finical.
Thank you for listening if you've made it this far.
Yeah.
And thank you for listening to our music.
We love you very much. And we'll catch you next podcast, next song.
See you later, alligator.
This has been a Caek and Minko podcast. And this is the point of the podcast where we pretend to talk to each other. You're going extra. No one thinks you're talking.
That's the point. I'm a llama.
Yeah. That's bad. Okay. Signing off.